Well, as you know, there's a lot of days that are scheduled on the calendar for remembering different things like Father's Day, Mother's Day, and there have become more and more of those. Not too long ago, I heard on the radio that it was National Ice Cream Cake Day, and piqued my interest, but I did not observe it as I should have, maybe next year. But there's there's every day there's something else. And so even within the church, there's days like this. And this week in the U.S. Catholic Church is referred to as National Natural Family Planning Awareness Week. And this comes around every year. It coincides with July 25th, which is the anniversary of St. Paul VI's encyclical letter Humanae Vitae that was written 57 years ago. And so this week is meant to reflect on the nature of married love, the gift of life, and the ethical methods of family planning which support God's design for married life. And one of the themes in this Sunday's readings is hospitality. And so this dovetails nicely with marital love. Hospitality is all about receiving people generously, and marriage is intended to welcome new life into the world. So let's think about hospitality. Normally we think about it as just a good thing, a nice thing that we can do for others. But in the lands of the Bible, especially back then, it was a matter of life or death. Arid lands, sparse population, and slow travel meant it was necessary to welcome strangers in need. And this was expected. So we hear about this today in our first reading from the book of Genesis. We hear about how Abraham, on a hot day, welcomed 3 guests, washing their feet, serving them a meal, doing this by himself when he could have done it through his servants. And as a reward, the 3 messengers of God announced that in the spring his wife Sarah will bear a son. And this indeed happens. And if you know the story of Abraham and Sarah, you know that she was barren and past childbearing years. And God had promised Abraham and Sarah a child, but it had not come to fulfillment yet. And so this is the moment when it happens. The story highlights how God's blessings flow through our acts of kindness and openness to those around us and their needs. And this leads to the gospel reading, where we hear the story of Martha and Mary. These 2 sisters welcome Jesus into their home. Mary sits at his feet and listens to him, and Martha busies herself by getting prepared for a meal for the special guest. And the presence of Jesus is a blessing to these people and to their other guests. Later on, Jesus will raise their brother Lazarus from the dead after he had been dead for 4 days. And there's a tradition, which I think is very beautiful, that at the end of the life of Martha, Jesus appeared to her as she lay dying and welcomed her into his heavenly kingdom. Because Martha showed Jesus hospitality in her home, Jesus welcomed Martha into the home of his Father in heaven. So hopefully we can see how hospitality towards others and generosity towards God brings about untold blessings. And this is certainly the case within marriage as well. Christian couples receive children as the supreme gift of marriage. And at the wedding, the priest asks each bride and groom this question: are you prepared to accept children lovingly from God and to bring them up according to the law of Christ and his church? And they respond, I am. And so the Christian home becomes a sanctuary of life. And the one flesh union of husband and wife is intended by God's design to be open to life. And natural family planning respects this design. That's why the church promotes it, educates people about this, and encourages it. And I hope you can see, I hope you understand that things like artificial contraception and sterilization render these acts infertile and not open to life. And I've been a priest long enough to know that these matters are not easy, and I'm not here to just judge anyone. I just want to help with proclaiming the truth. And I also know that God is a good and provident Father who only wants what is best for his children. And he has given us his only Son for our salvation. How will he not give us everything else besides? We can also think about the gospel. We have this understanding that Martha is anxious and worried, and that this is opposed to trusting in God. And so it would be good for us to really take to heart today the words of Jesus to Martha. No matter what our situation is, no matter what things we are worried about, no matter what things we are anxious about, we should listen to this. Martha, Martha, you are anxious and worried about many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, and it will not be taken from her. The one thing that is necessary is to love God with our whole heart and to love our neighbor as ourselves. And if we do that, we will receive untold blessings from God, especially if we show hospitality and openness to life. God will bless our individual lives and our families and our community.